Happy Regular Crispy Day!
Yeah. It's been a very crisp day.
It's a crisp autumn afternoon, Heather, I think is what we're looking for here.
It will be, in my mind. I refuse to acknowledge the soggy state outside.
Oh, I mean, it's in the air. The leaves may now be the sludge that they will be from now until
Okay, because we're like mid-September now, and at this point, if we were where I grew up in Alberta, it would be a very crisp day. The leaves would be the orange I want them to be. There might even be a little bit of water on the ground that turned completely to ice that you can crackle.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. That and the thunderstorms are the two things I miss about Alberta, and basically nothing else except for one friend who I'm not going to name here, none of you know, and that's it. And I can get that friend to move into BC or out of Alberta. It doesn't really matter where. Out of Alberta, I can mix Alberta off the map.
Just
Completely.
Like Saskatchewan.
Sorry if you still live there, but you know it's true.
You know what you did. They did. Hey, it's Regular Crispy Day, and we should probably explain just the barest modicum of what's going on here with that. And then we can get into what Regular Crispy means to us, because we should really share about our feelings on important holidays like this. Regular Crispy Day is just a holiday that we decided was a holiday, because that's how it works.
It's how holidays were made, and we made one.
That celebrates all things Regular Crispy. People get really excited all the time about extra crispy chicken, extra crispy bacon, putting the most crunch that they possibly can in foodstuffs, and even auditory other sensory.
But that's the thing. You just said the most crunch, which means it's no longer crispy even.
Yes, yeah. It's a race to the bottom in terms of in terms of explosions in your mouth, and sometimes it's nice just to appreciate a moderate level, something that needs crispiness, has enough crispiness, but isn't getting in the way of you enjoying the other aspects of your life or your food.
Now, I will point out the dictionary definition of, like, dictionary.com or whatever website I was looking at states that if you look up crispy, really only wants to put it with food. If you look up the base word crisp, because it's important to look at the base words of your English words.
Etymology.
It also includes mostly food examples, especially if you're looking at the British definition for crisp.
Oh, good God, yes. They love their crisps.
But throw that idea out, because crisp does not just... We just talked about how the weather is crisp. The dictionary is wrong. And eventually, if we keep counting down the definition of regular crispy, we can get that in the dictionary. We just need to get that wording usage for, like, I think 10 years.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's a statute of limitations.
We're working on that now. And you're going to help. Because we need other people to use it. It can't just be the two of us.
Exactly. And then so we a day of promoting knowledge of regular levels of crispiness, be it in food, personality, air quality, or
books,
Also.
paper, brand new books.
Oh yeah,
the crisp open of the spine,
crisp,
and the book.
clean page. That's what people talk about.
I believe I saw someone state in the chat a crisp dollar bill, brand new money that has not touched other human hands yet.
To quote MC Frontalot, paraphrasing one of the characters of the comic strip Achewood, one had Ray, the dog, once had 23 Stellas, which I believe is a type of beer, and they were all crisp, according to the song. So many things can be crisp, and yet we choose sheets, says Texan. Thank you.
Oh yeah, or shirts like what you wear.
Yes,
you can get those. You can get those crisp.
This is certainly not crisp, but this. It can be an example.
I was tempted to try and starch a shirt just to do it, but that would have been like way more prep time than I had time for this week.
This is a very casual holiday. You can observe it whenever you like, but
yes, it's like any other holiday, right? You don't have to just do Christmas at Christmas time.
Yes.
You can do it in the middle of July, according to car commercials.
Good Christ! I absolutely now want to submit a vacation request for Christmas bracket observe for something May 13th.
I mean, you could probably get away with that here. I feel like Graham would just be like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Is this a religious thing? No. Wait.
I don't
should
think
it be?
I don't think legally they can ask that.
It's a good point. You have to volunteer the information. Anyway, FK says, look, I know Eden's drinking a Japanese canned coffee, but it looks like he was sipping a can of beans. It's right there on the can, right? The beans are there. So yeah, I mean, we're not just going to sit here and talk about crispiness. We want to give practical examples too, and so for that reason, we've brought some food onto stream. Don't call it a mukbang. That's cultural and it means something.
Yeah, I'm still, other than eating food, I'm not really sure what it means. But I don't like using the word because I don't know exactly what it means, and I don't want to look it up for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be in a dictionary that's in a language you don't understand.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I burned down the web dictionary already.
Yep, we got the one. That's all we need. I brought today a few things, and I'm going to start with this, which is an onigiri, or a rice ball, or for those of you who grew up during the 90s and watched a lot of Cartoon Network, this is a donut, but it's a very special kind of donut.
If you watched the second season of Digimon, they would have referred to this as a chocolate-covered rice ball.
Really?
Yeah.
Good on them.
It's one of my favorite food translations because they don't quite get there.
No, that's three kinds of wrong. And it's also been wrapped. I love Fujiya. They're one of the best places for Japanese foods in Victoria, but by God, they don't know how to wrap a onigiri with the plastic stuff. So we're gonna get this unwrapped. But this specifically is a prawn tempura.
You wanna get that closer
onigiri.
to the mic?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Once we start unwrapping, and I brought an onigiri because my theme for the day is foods that are crisp, but that adding extra crispness to would ruin. And one of my favorite things about a onigiri is that when they're done right, they're wrapped in nori that, as you can hear, is dry. And when you bite into it, has a delicious level of crispness to it.
I had one of those earlier this week, and I was just like, yes, seaweed, dried seaweed.
It's one of my favorite things
good.
about an onigiri. Here's the thing: if you extra crisp an onigiri with like extra crispy nori, thickened it up or added more sheets, that would be too much nori.
That would be wrong.
So having fresh dried nori applied directly to the rice before it has a chance to, even now, it's starting to soften up. But still just enough.
But if you don't want to, because rice bowls are actually fairly easy to make, but if you don't want to, and you can't find one made, generally you can find just the seaweed snacks.
Yes.
In strips. that are in strips, and they're a lot like potato chips in the fact that they add salt or other flavorings to them. They won't taste like potato chips.
No, they certainly won't. But if you want the rice ball experience too, you can just use those strips as sort of like a finger guard with a bowl of rice. This is something I learned while I was living there. They just take those strips and they grab some rice and chunk it in. It's really good. The other issue is that this is a tempura onigiri, which also has a level of crispness to it. But, as you know, tempura is lightly battered, lightly crispy, and again, adding more batter or more crunchiness to it, to extra crisp. Well, now you're encroaching onto fish and chips territory, like with that beer batter type stuff. And again, maybe delicious, but not tempura, and not what you want out of tempura. You want that very light crisp. It helps accentuate the taste of the contents. So I'm going to finish up this. Heather, what did you bring?
Well, I went with I I had some luck in the fact that I subscribed to a snack box, and it came just in time yesterday. And since we're going with what does Crispy Day mean to you? Mine's more of the traditional holiday sense of it's the one time of year I get to have lunch with Ian, and the only one. Any other time is a deception, and work lunches don't. There's other people there.
This is extra.
That's extra. Yeah, you don't want extra. This is just right. So in the spirit of that, I brought one to share with you.
Oh, lovely.
This is a Kyoto matcha waffle sandwich.
Kyoto, you say?
Well, that's what they've listed it as. The outside of this delicious waffle cookie is a crisp and perfectly golden, and between the two layers is a smooth white chocolate matcha cream.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's got the word crisp in it. So there's one for you.
Well, thank
and
you.
One for me.
Thank you.
Because they often give you about two of everything, which is nice.
Well, I was wondering what it said on the side, and it literally says in katakana, weirdly, waffle sand.
That's what it says in English, too.
Yep. Waffle sand. I guess the fact that it's in hiragana rather than katakana is what makes it Kyoto style. So they're very fancy and traditional down there. I'm really liking the. Yeah, this is not at all soggy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Which is awesome. Oh, that matcha smells nice, too.
Nice matcha, light coconut flavor.
They've made the waffle thin, so it really does retain the crisp.
That is, yeah. Very nice and light crispness. Certainly getting my sugar today.
This is why I like the snack box. They give me things I never see. Or would think to look for. These are very sweet.
Cameron, welcome to the show. Living Victoria reminds me of the DS9 episode where Quark complains that since it always rains on Ferenginar, there is no Ferengi word for crisp. Wow. Well, happy to share culture with the Ferengi today.
I'm sure they would be happy to participate in the commerce of the culture.
Now, is this something that we could make extra crispy, and change it fundamentally, or would that fundamentally change and ruin this particular snack?
I feel like if you tried to, you'd just burn it.
I'm
not sure it could get to extra crispy without being gone.
Yeah, wafuru is a difficult one there to apply too much heat to.
Would you? So you had the onigiri. Would you consider grilled onigiri to be crisp or extra crispy?
I would say that that's one that starts that a grilled onigiri becomes a grilled onigiri when the rice becomes crisp. If you tried to extra crispy a grilled onigiri, you probably end up not making it good. Because you're either you have to crisp the entire outer shell. And when you crisp rice, that makes it hard, and I think that just might be too much hard rice. Or you deep fry it, and that would be dangerous. And probably way too oily in the end. In the chat, curry spiced karage wrap sounds very good.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it because if you home make your onigiri and you leave them for like a little too long, grilling is like a good way to save them for at least another day.
Oh, I call that just a good night too. Now, I usually make my onigiris directly before lunchtime. Rice goes in the cooker at 11 o'clock, comes out, put on a plate, put in front of a fan to cool, formed and eaten. I like it. That was a lovely cracker sand.
There were some other crispy snacks, but eating these is like a thing I sort of do on my home stream. So I only brought the one.
You gotta spread that. You gotta spread it out to the various networks.
Well, if you eat all of it in one go, it's a lot.
Oh God, yeah.
Snacks are meant to be small and frequent, maybe if you want, infrequent if you don't want, but not all at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a meal at that point. I have loose definitions of what a meal is, but I also feel like the world has loose definitions of what food is.
That's
so
a very good point. We've gone several different directions. You know what? I'm going to continue on here. I did get myself a second onigiri, but I'm not going to bring that out just yet. This is another thing, again, that I feel like would be completely ruined if it were made extra crispy. Because of what it is. Would you care to join me on one of these, or?
I am not a fan of
That's
those,
fair.
but I appreciate the offer.
I have. Ooh, that's an interesting smell. Purchased a set of deep fried oysters. Again, the oyster, normally a treat that is referred to as something very soft. That's their defining texture feature is.
Well, it's the soft inside goodness
Exactly.
you want to eat, as far as I understand.
Exactly. That's the defining feature of the oyster is that it's soft and unyielding, but you put a crisp batter around the outside just for a little bit of extra textural fun and crunch. But if you made that extra crispy, then you're going to end up just enjoying the crispness rather than the oyster itself. I wonder if there's any crisp going on here.
You think if we do enough of these streams, even if they're only once a year, we can somehow ask for one of those really weird microphones that look like ears on the end?
Absolutely. I think if we get a head microphone right in the center here, one of us on each ear,
Yeah.
that's going to be a perfect way to distribute the flavor, the ear flavor, to fans at home. I really appreciate Account Made for Ants, though, pointing out that an oyster does in fact become extra crispy if you leave the shell on. So that's that would be difficult. Yeah. It's been a while since I've had a deep fried oyster. Those are nice. We'll keep snacking on those as we go along.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is our lunch day, which we've given a fancy name and a holiday. So I don't know if this will be crispy anymore. But I did go for, I went to the parsonage and got a breakfast bagel.
Ooh.
With bacon. Yeah, okay. I would say that's pretty normal crispy and not extra crisp. So that's good. It's a little soggy now.
That's the unfortunate
From
thing.
the sauces, but I don't care. I'm eating it anyway.
Sauces and the weight. Something we discussed last night on the program, actually, as well.
Oh, yeah?
Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry, fortnightly on loadingreadyrun.com/live. You can find a link from there, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, when you wrap your food, especially hot sandwiches like that, and leave it for a bit, it gives a time for the flavors to meld and kind of steam in its own juices, which is quite nice. Sponsored by whom? UCC Coffee? The fanciest of coffees?
Sponsor myself on this day.
This is all for us. No.
It's a regular crispy day. Brought to you by Ian and Heather. Sponsored by Ian and Heather. Hashtag. Sorry. I have to do this. Hashtag not really sponsored.
Important to know. But I think I did think it was important for us to put the no backseating tag on this particular stream because, frankly, no one texts to tell me how to eat.
Yes.
And no one should tell you how to eat either.
Also, though, people do often come into a stream and ask, "What are the rules? Can I offer suggestions, or can I tell you what to do, or is like what's the line?" And then just having the no back seating tag just lets you know
Very quickly.
The line is, don't tell people how to eat or what to eat or how to not eat or whatever. I don't know.
That said, we are setting down rules about crispiness and the application thereof. Oh. Just the barest bit of crispiness in these. The breading could actually be a bit crisper, TBH, but I think that's a result of sitting for a few minutes in itself.
It is part of the problem with getting foods that are made elsewhere. You can't quite 100% get the crisp, fresh out of the crisper.
Did either of us bring any vegetables? I don't think we did.
Nope. I had vegetables last year.
That's good enough for this decade. I had a salad once. It was terrible.
Actually, we found a bunch of egg salads on sale this week. So we've been trying like these weird things, and there was one that was like the everything bagel salad. I know, right? That sounds bad. It essentially ends up tasting like coleslaw that's been covered in a ranch dressing instead of what you expect from a coleslaw dressing. And the little crouton type things they put in there were little sliced up bagel pieces. It was fine.
Okay, that's
it's
fine.
Not worth buying.
That is not what I was expecting. What I was expecting was a regular salad kit. That, I don't know, someone had taken a Gillette Mach 5 to a bunch of everything bagels and just scraped all the toppings off into the bag.
I mean, that's something I would do, but that's not what, no.
Make sure to shave your bagels before you toast them if you want to make sure they're safe to eat.
So also, a lot of the crispy things I got last year were things that were made by Nabisco, which their personnel is on strike for, so I'm not buying this year.
Stay strong. Stay strong in milk, too. I guess they should. Salad-wise, this is something I just learned last night as well while I was searching out new recipes. Sorry, I just had a brain fart there. Oyster sauce with lettuce. This is apparently a good little Chinese dish that you just take a head of either green leaf or romaine lettuce and just parboil it for about 20 seconds. Just enough to make the leaves a little bit wilted, but importantly, leave the crispness on. Then 5 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 soy sauce, 1 soy sauce, 2 oyster sauce, 3 water. Mix that together, and then you put it over top of the lettuce and just eat hot lettuce. Which is something a lot of people don't think about doing, but is actually quite delicious.
Yeah, I wouldn't think of making lettuce hot. I mean, I think the only time I've ever had like a hot kind of lettuce like thing would have been like cabbage rolls. Which, wow, I haven't had those in a long time. Oh, kind of missing some of that Ukrainian food.
Not a lot of crispness in the Ukrainian food, unfortunately. Ooh, unless you're talking about the crust you get on top of the cabbage rolls when you bake them. That's.
I should learn how to make cabbage rolls.
Let's make a let's set a date for sometime in around November. We can get into the studio and let's learn how to make cabbage rolls.
I have a Ukrainian history, like family gatherings, at least within my grandmother's household, we had things like cabbage rolls and stuff. Never really pierogies, because those were very time consuming to make, but all the other foods.
My mother also grew up in that way, and so we in our family celebrated a Ukrainian Christmas a couple days usually before, or Christmas Eve. We'd have Ukrainian Christmas dinner with the cabbage rolls, some pierogies sometimes, but Nalesnica was the big one. Oh, little crepes filled with cottage cheese. Nothing crispy there at all. That is simply a gumming meal, but delicious nonetheless.
Yeah, and as Cameron's pointed out, pierogies are bastards to make and cheap to buy frozen. Yeah, and they freeze well. Pierogies are like one of those foods that freeze well, and then you can argue about how to cook them, but pan fried.
And as much as it was fun to try and make them based on Sarah's recipe that we tried on Tinker Tailor, yeah, no, they are a bastard to make.
I've never had the dessert ones though, and I could kind of, because those aren't generally the ones you find frozen. I could see the case being made to try making those.
Yep. That is another good question to bring ourselves slightly back on the topic. Heather, when you're having a pierogi, do you prefer boiled, fried, or deep fried?
Okay, we boil first, just to make sure that they get unfrozen.
Okay, yes.
And typically we pan fry, but I do like them better when they're deep fried.
Oh, whoa, okay. Full on deep fry. Yeah. I've only rarely had them deep fried myself, so I generally go right with a pan fry.
Yeah, fried is best, but I like to boil and then fry because I like the crisp and the thing. Whereas you just boiled and they're soggy and they're not as good. But yeah, getting them out of the freezing state. I think if they were fresh, we'd probably just go right to pan fry. Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know. I honestly don't know if you could call those any of those extra crispy, because they're just exactly the level that they need to be when they're deep fried. They're done when they're done when they're pan fried. I guess you could try to extra crisp a pan fried one, but that's when you're looking into getting into danger territory, where you might end up burning things.
I'm really thinking that bacon's one of the only things you can get to like an extra crispy point where it still tastes good.
I would counter the chicken also can get there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
And to be honest, tonkatsu, I would also say you can take that up to an extra crispy level without, because it's really the star of the show usually. And then putting on that egg mixture, you definitely want the extra there. I can't talk about extra crispiness. What am I doing? This is against the spirit.
Almost had him, chat. Almost had him. I don't know why I'm being an antagonist today.
Oh, you're testing me. You're like a steel, keeping me sharp. That's what's going on here.
No, I think today's been the best day simply because you made the chat start talking about shaved bagels.
It's a phrase that I never expected I'd be able to say, and I love to be able to come up with my dreams and achieve them all in like 5 minutes flat.
It's like basically making a to-do list with, I made a to-do list at the top and checking it off. It's great.
Okay, that is a delicious. I've wanted oysters for a while, and I think that's satisfied.
Nice.
I think. I do have one more onigiri, but I'm not going to get into it just yet because I think I might be hitting my. Well, getting close to hitting my stomach limit for fullness, which is nice.
Well, and those will always keep for later.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna need a snack later on tonight. We head back to Kamurocho.
I'm gonna assume that's a place in the game you're playing on stream.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool.
It's a fake Japanese town. Don't worry about it. Yeah, let's bring it out and talk about it. Because you're still chewing. So this is again another thing that people might question. Why'd you put this on regular Crispy Day, Ian?
How many places did you go to this one?
Only 2.
Okay.
There was... I had a plan. Actually, you know what? Let's just go over what my phone thought I wanted before I reveal what it actually is, because I think I can show off, or I think I can pull up completed items. All right, show me potato salad. I mean, potato salad was on the list a while back. Okay.
Potato salad is definitely not crispy.
No.
Also, I don't even regard it as a food at this point.
Okay, here we go. Only Giri and apple fritter, rice bowl, ball of rice, bowl of rice. Siri's very bad at learning these things.
So you like using the voice commands?
Well, when one uses their phone as a second camera for a stream, you realize how much you use your phone for other things. No, apple fritter is what's on the docket. Now, why would I say that this is crispy? It's not crispy. It's a donut. Ian, you're having an episode, and no. Well, I mean, yes, I am, but it's a once per year episode. It's a special, but a good apple fritter again is fried, and frying generally crisps things. And if we tap the edge of that donut, you can hear that has a crispness to it. And I would posit that what makes the apple fritter delicious, in addition to the sweetness in the apple, is the interplay of crispy edges and a lot of crispy nooks and crannies, again juxtaposed against the softness of the dough everywhere else in the apples. And if you made it extra crispy, you're not going to get any softness. It's just going to be all rock hard donut with maybe some holes, some voids in the center from where everything rose and just became a hole. But that's not all. There is a second element of crispiness to donuts.
Oh, yes?
Yes.
Do tell.
Look at that icing.
Yes, I see. Icing is generally very soft, though.
Very soft, but there's always a skin to icing. Right? And that skin is just... like it cracks and flakes, which is a property of crispiness.
Yes.
And that is a regular amount of crispiness for donut. Heather, what would happen if we extra crispied icing? That'd be like coating a donut in a candy cane. No one wants that.
If you want an example of a food that has taken it too far, you can look up the rock roasts that the Gorons eat in Breath of the Wild. Those are definitely beyond extra crispy and not meant for human consumption.
No. Also, thankfully, fictional.
Link eats one in Calamity of Ganon, or the spin-off game they made, the Hyrule Warriors one.
He probably really shouldn't.
Everyone stares at him really weird too after he eats it, except for the Gorons who think it's great.
I mean, that's just being accepting of the culture. Someone gives you food, you eat the food, right?
It's still made out of rocks. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to accept the culture. It's just your anatomy might not really accept the food.
I mean, I've enjoyed a rock or two in my time.
I eat a lot of salt too. Yes.
Yes, that's really about it. I have had a couple of different kinds of salt too. There's a curing salt you use on. So that's 2 different kinds of rock. Anyway, gotta pull apart this donut here from the bottom. Oh my, oh my. Yanni, you make decent donuts. Okay, we're gonna have to vacuum.
You make such a mess in this room.
So you can see again there. So you got a very squishy interior, crispy exterior, and that just gives a nice. Half of that was the crispiness of the donut. Half of that was me grinding one of my cheese gums together, and that hurt like.
Okay. I asked Twitter, I asked other streamers on Twitter that eat on stream, if they do a long stream, or if they eat in between streams. And I got a variety of reactions to that. No one, not a single person was like, people shouldn't eat on stream. I did see a thing of someone telling Cameron that he shouldn't eat on stream. Mm-hmm. Again, no backseating. Mm-hmm. Especially not even after the stream is over. And I feel like if you're still here at this point, you're not one of those people who can't stand people eating on stream. Nope. So thanks. Brownie points. No backs eating. Thank you.
Very, very good. I've checked all my teeth and everything's where it should be, so that was just a surface grind. But yeah, no, definitely. I eat on stream or don't. That's up to you at home. However, eating at stream, that's where I'm a Viking.
Definitely eat in the daytime. If you go to stream for like any amount of time and you get hungry, and you don't want to eat on camera, you can make the camera disappear. You can make your mic disappear. You could just go on break. Mm-hmm. I won't tell people that they should go on breaks or they have to go on breaks because I do believe people can monitor themselves on that respect. But like Hydrate Bot, you remember the Hydrate Bot that came around?
Oh yeah.
That like reminds people to do whatever every so often. That was a bot that somebody added to my home stream channel and I banned it. This is like, thanks, but I will monitor my own hydration.
Right. You can do that to bots.
Mm-hmm. You can ban bots. And there's a lot of hate raid bots going around, so you should definitely ban those. Twitch as well, you should ban those people.
Brownie Points has asked this question a couple times, and I would like to bring it up because it is relevant and important to me. Heather, Ian, do you prefer your bao/gyoza steamed or crisped up and pan-fried? I don't know if you have an answer prepared for that, but I certainly do. I think it depends on what you're doing. For bao, I would prefer a steamed bun. So it's nice and fluffy.
Yeah.
But for gyoza, I absolutely think that those should be pan-fried.
I don't know if I've had steamed gyoza. I'm pretty sure I've always had it pan-fried. I think I would prefer it pan-fried. Mm-hmm. I like the crispy nature of. I like my foods mostly crispy. Mm-hmm. Unless you're eating something like cake, then I would prefer my cake to be soft. I don't really know that I want a crispy cake.
That's the stale cake, isn't it?
Stale cake isn't crispy. It's just kind of dry. Right? There's crispy is a delightful sensation that's kind of like a brittle or flaky kind of thing that you find in a lot of pastries, which is great. But a dry cake does not give you that sensation.
No. I'm actually trying to think of a way that you could make cake crispy, and
but I do think the bao should be steamed. But again, I've also never had a bao that's been pan-fried.
Yeah, I don't.
I can't think of. I didn't even think you could do that.
Yeah, I thought that was with the white dough on the outside.
Yeah,
frying that sounds like a bad idea, but maybe I think there's more to the bao world than what I have been exposed to, perhaps.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
The amount, we have some great international food places that do stuff, but let's be real. They are serving to a white market. They are going to serve the food they think actually sells, not necessarily the food.
And while I am an aficionado of Japanese popular and traditional culture, I know almost next to nothing about Chinese culture and tradition.
They do make real good dumplings. So. You okay over there?
Oh yeah, no, I've recently gone on rants about using the word. Right, no, dumplings is generally fine.
Dumpling is just kind of a catch-all for a variety of foods.
The ones that get me are when people call them pot stickers. I just really don't like that particular word for some reason.
To me, that just says you're not actually watching your food properly.
Like, if you want to see me, I generally don't like the term cringe, but I do understand the feeling that it's supposed to invoke. And if you want to see a man curl up in the feeling of cringe to the point where he becomes his own event horizon and escapes from this world, just talk about how you're going to put some pot stickers in your tummy.
I can't bring myself to do what my brain told me to do in front of you. To try and make that happen, so I'm not going to. But I'm going to let you know I thought about it.
I appreciate that.
Oh my goodness.
Not going to compel you, but you're welcome to some apple fritter if you'd like.
I'm actually really full. I bought 2 of these sandwiches because I hadn't been there in a while. And my brain was just like, you want a pile of food. And I was like, I do, brain. Thanks. And sometimes I listen to it when I shouldn't. When I know better. But that's fine. I'll give it to Beach when I get home.
Oh, yeah.
He'll appreciate it.
He will. This is why we don't go shopping hungry, I think.
Yes.
And why we're not supposed to, at least. And why
my other thought was if the bacon on one was floppy.
Subpar.
I would just eat the other one. I don't like fatty or floppy bacon. I really do like it at a crisp level or an extra crisp or just not at all. I can't chewing fat in meat. I'm not vegetarian, but I will avoid meat because I find specific textures really gross.
That's completely understandable.
To the point where when I do go to other people's houses, because I'm like, I want to be rude, because you should eat the food they provide you, and some people don't get it. I'm just like, yeah, allergic to beef all of a sudden. Yeah, no, vegetarian if that's acceptable. And I say that because I grew up in Alberta, so you can say you're vegetarian, but that's not acceptable in certain ways. So it's just easier to be like, oh, I have an allergy to that thing that I don't have an allergy.
Beef allergy is a very good phrase.
My brother had a beef allergy.
Really?
Yeah. He had to. Oh no! Wait, sorry. Pork allergy.
Okay, I mean that's
actually
in some ways worse.
Which meant that anytime we did the school picnic things, my mom had to provide the hot dogs for him to eat because the hot dogs that generally you get are like a mix.
The cheaper. That's why they specify all beef hot dog, I guess. Huh. Hot dogs, not crisp. I find.
Oh no,
never crisp. Bun though, toasted bun.
Toasted bun can be crisp.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
And it's delightful.
I think I've actually dialed in toasting buns with my broiler.
Ooh.
I last night during the chopped cheese, first time checking at exactly the right time. Beautiful brown buns out. Replicated it later on that evening at 11 p.m. without even having to time it. I'm getting to learn my equipment, Heather. This is the most amazing thing a cook can do. But yeah, we talk a lot about foods that can be over crisped, but we don't talk a lot about the unfortunate foods out there that are left uncrispy to the level that they should be, like unfortunately undercooked bacon. Or a toast that's been detoasted.
Toast you can definitely go either way on. You can over crisp or under crisp, but that's also like a gradient of preference.
I mean, like a toaster that you've never used before, and you put it in, and then well, for most people, it pops out. It rises slowly from the toaster. But you set it too low, and it's not there. Now you have to make that hard decision.
Do you alter your toast crispiness based upon what you intend to put on it?
Absolutely I do, Heather.
Good.
Absolutely I do.
That's good. I knew we were friends for a reason. It's definitely our agreement on toast.
No, it's if I'm having a good curry toast day, then let me tell you that that toaster is getting jacked pretty high up to the brown side.
This is why, even though we technically met on that road trip in Beach's car, just not our first time meeting, but when we actually got to talk as people and find out who each other were, we could not be friends until the next morning when we saw each other make toast.
We knew it was going to happen.
You can determine yourself which of those belongs in the House of Lies and which ones do not. Because some of what I said was true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. The House of Lies and the House of just I don't fucking remember anymore.
No, we would have met at an anime-thon when I went to talk to people, and I kind of knew Beach a little bit at that point, but it was like the last anime-thon before you went up to Japan. And then we technically talked a little bit then because I started dating Beach.
We have a long and storied history where we forgot who each other were for a bit. I really kind of like that.
I remember Beach thinking we knew each other a lot better than he thought we did, and he was just like, you should go talk to Ian about this very personal text message thing that you got, because it'll be really funny, and then I'll tell you what the words that this person sent you mean. And I'm like, okay. Okay, hey, hi, Ian, person I barely know. Can you explain this? And I don't think you could, because you didn't. You were like, like, cool. Hey, Beach. I did the thing you told me to do. Please now explain to me.
Explain to me why you made me do this, and also
asked.
what this means. I do miss road trips, if nothing else, though.
It's been a long time. I mean, even I guess the ferry trips I would count.
They're kind of the same.
They're close. They're not anything like those 17-hour excursions where I've ended up hating certain people for at least an hour or two.
But I also don't really consider any vacation or any trip on a vehicle where you are able to, turn off your brain and play Magic. And you have to have some sort of.
The same.
You got to have a situation where you are forced to interact with people, even if you don't want to.
Now, last year we talked about the crispy level of
Thank you.
of some of the streams, and we're not going to go over those again. You can watch last year's episode, but there are, I believe, 2 new streams
At least
since then that we need to discuss. So first, we'll start with, is this your card?
Okay. Yes. Is This Your card has been mostly digital based, right?
It has all been digital based thus far, yes.
Okay.
I believe that's the premise of the show, even. As
Oh.
digital card games.
Oh, okay, digital. I thought it was collectible card games, but digital card games, that changes things a bit then.
Well, for the most part, it's just been Wheeler. I think he had Engineering in for some Pokemon at the beginning, and I believe Adam showed up for something, maybe Yu-Gi-Oh, not really sure.
Okay.
But digital right now has kind of always been, and it definitely helps with that one-player aspect.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future I could see expanding, but currently all digital.
Okay, well, I still think that gives me a baseline to base things on.
Also, I want to point out Wheeler is the face that you see on that show.
Yes.
And it's very important to add in what the regular co-hosts are like for your crispy level.
Yes.
It's because crispy is part of the feel of a thing.
So I'm going to say that I'm going to put Is This Your card on a high regular crisp. And here's my do you have a rating before we go into explanations?
Well, I've only seen the first 2 minutes of every episode and the sign off of every episode. And so based upon that and the knowledge of what games he's played, I'm going to go with a medium crisp.
Okay. Okay. I'm sticking by my assessment based on, first off, face. I think the Wheeler does have his mustache very sharp, which is a synonymous term with crispiness, I would say. And he does run modern games, which do run at a crisp 1080p 60 frames per second reliably.
Yes, and I do know his streams run at that now. Yes.
What keeps him from getting over into extra crispy is the digitalness of the card games. If this was a live card game show, and he could be flicking cards, that would be extra crispy.
Yeah, you're true. It's true. The card flick really adds to the thing.
The overall crisp.
So, and I mean, this isn't really Wheeler's fault, but at the beginning of his streams, because of the time of day it is, his skin tone is very white, maybe even pinkish. By the time his stream is over, he looks like a lobster.
Oh no!
Because the light has changed in his room, and the white balance is not changed with the camera, which is why I pull him down to the medium crisp.
Okay, no, I can get behind that.
But come summer, when the light will be more consistent, or if he starts streaming from the moon base, perhaps, then yes, I will bump him up to the high crisp.
I'll take both of those. Crispiness is one of those things that can actually change with seasons. Just simply with the humidity in the air is going to affect your level of ambient crispness.
And I will point out that nowhere on the crisp scale does it make your stream good nor bad.
No.
Because that is not the scale in which we are interpreting. Yeah. Our scale is only how crisp are you.
You can deep fry literal shit. It's true. You can do
ice
that.
Cream.
Yeah. But does that make it good or bad? Well, that's for you to decide. I'm not going to kink shame the corpophages out there in the chat today, but
yes.
What is the other stream? Is it Can't Draw Horses Club?
Yes, it is Can't Draw Horses Club.
Okay, good. By the way, that was a milk cough, not an anything else cough. He gets a little mucusy with the milk.
I mean, we all do.
Yeah. Oh, we got to do this quick. Can't Draw Horses Club. Crisp white sheets.
Yep, it's been mixed.
Yep.
So some digital, some traditional. Every time I've been on it, it's had paper involved. Very crisp paper because I do not open that sketchbook enough.
Crisp white sheets, sharp blacks and then pencils on there. But Corey's not exactly the crispest person.
I would say because of Corey, and I will point out her very stellar presentations that she does about the topics that she is going on, that she is actually extra crispy because she goes that extra mile.
I can concur with that. I would agree that the Can't Draw Horses Club is probably an extra crispy stream. Does that mean it always has to be extra crispy?
Not always. I mean, I have not tuned into every episode, so it might not be always extra crispy. But I do think the ones that I've been on have been extra crispy.
And I'd say that it does benefit from that extra crispiness, too.
Don't worry, Corey. I intend to make good on that threat from last episode.
Oh, and Corey. I know
she's watching right
in
now.
the chat that they're pretty dry. So.
Yeah, Corey has a very dry delivery that I think is amazing.
That adds crispiness.
And I'm not just saying that because she's here and she's my friend, although you take that with the grain of salt you want. It's our day. We can rate anything however we want.
Salt being important to drying out food to achieve better crispiness levels. Speaking of it being our day, Heather, I think our day has, or at least the observed celebrations of today are about to come to an end. Is there anything you'd like to mention to our congregated members here?
You can find me over at twitch.tv/LunarJade or on twitter.com/LunarJade, the Bad Bird website, which I shall maybe one day leave if the rest of the internet does. Who knows? I left Facebook once. I can leave something bigger. Ian, how about you?
You can find me over at tilty.house. That's tilty.house. That's where Corey and I both live on the internet. You can find her podcast there. You can find links to Late Night Dub Fight and my streams as well. Links on Twitter. Just go to tilty.host. It's all there, and I guarantee that it is valid. You can go there. Good lord, a bunch of you decided to subscribe to this stream, and I have no earthly idea why.
Let's do it. Pixel Art Dragon for 36 months, who's ready for the correct amount of crunch. I am, yay.
Totally Defiant, 57 months, thank you.
Evia Rel for 23 months, welcome back.
That was a demo for 30 months, a regular Crispy subscription.
Ignatius Pants for 39 months, happy regular Crispy Day, everyone.
Mage Kite, 14 months, time to celebrate 14 months, staying perfectly, exactly, delightfully, beautifully, and adequately, regularly crispy with all y'all.
Painting with Ferris for 88 months, crisps.
G-Dwarf, 89 months, definitely the most averagely crispy number.
Elemental Alchemist, 72 months, I'm feeling crispy today, the day of my 72nd month stream announcement. Happy regular crispy day, everyone.
Happy regular crispy day. Mel D, 93 months, a regular amount of crisp, no more, no less.
It's Cord for 8 months. Glad to celebrate 8 crispy months.
The Woogie, 67 months crispy.
E-Block gave us 300 bits. The most wonderful time of the year. Thank you.
Christy September subscribed for 53 months on this September.
The Hako Foe for 59 months. That's a nice crisp.
H-Bomb and Friends, 54 months, a regular crispy sub.
Commander Drud, 87 for 44 months.
Hail the RNG for 80 months. Hi.
Red the Lily for 32 months. Love all of you.
DSBMU subscribed for 56 months. Thank you.
The Spin Dash for 36 months. I had to reduce my natural crispy for today, but it's worth it.
Bad Panda Bear dropping 500 bits. I'm afraid these bits might be too crisp. Sorry.
The Awesome One V2, 27 months. It's my 27th anniversary. That's almost a whole month.
Awesome. Thing 1 of 2 C subscriber for 14 months. Confused a squash with a melon today. That was much crispier than I was expecting. Celebrate as best you can.
A Shame Granny for 55 months. Ian Horner. Look at all those crumbs on the floor. I know the shameful thing you've been doing. All these regular crispy foodstuffs.
Allness 49 subscribing for 53. Regular sub for a regular crispy day.
The Meerkat has gifted the Soggy Chalupa a sub. I hope they find out why.
Me too. Dreaming Autumn. 60 months never change, guys. You are wonderful people. You too, folks.
Not Kate nor Abel has gifted us 500 bits saying, why do I encourage this?
An anonymous gifter gifted a gift to Coriandered, who is in the chat, and thank you both.
Rock Pusher for 59 months, a wonderful regular crispy day with wonderful regular crispy people.
Steve on Fire, giving gifts to Alamar Black. Thank you both for being in the channel.
Humunculus for 66 months, 66% crisp.
And Contingent Cat subscribing for 50 months, the half year.
Perfect.
That will do it.
Coming up next, we've got Chill Point or Checkpoint Plus or whatever we call that stream. It'll be me, Paul, and the other one, Beach, talking about the video game news. If you have an hour to watch yesterday's Checkpoint to catch up with the preview of the main show.
Chop chop or whatever.
Crisp.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next year, folks, for another regular crispy day.